the league versus Caitlin Clark. And that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next.
Speaking about Caitlin Clark live on television, Monica McNutt just made herself appear foolish. Rather than giving Caitlin all the credit for breaking attendance records, we need to respect the other players in the league, she stated. Before Caitlin, there were many better players who didn't receive nearly as much recognition or attention, according to Monica.
Indiana Fever scored 110. That was a WNBA record. And on top of it all, she dropped 35. Caitlin Clark, and, obviously she's leading the league in assists and all this other stuff. She's phenomenal. She just is, okay?
The media's objective on Caitlin Clark is clear. She still doesn't address the critics, though. Rather, she plays basketball and smashes records as if they were out of style. As U.S. fans watch these analysts repeatedly be proven incorrect, Caitlin keeps making them look foolish by taking them down one by one.
When you were waving your hand in Caitlin Clark's face when you were beating her for the national championship, everybody remembered then that you belonged in the WNBA and your future was going to be on the pro level. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Who are these now?
The WNBA has witnessed Caitlin Clark's incredible ascent. However, not everyone has been keen to give her the throne, as is frequently the case with celebrity. Although her skill and record-breaking performances have garnered media attention, her path to becoming one of the league's top players has been fraught with controversy and contentious discussions. With experts like Monica McNutt and Molly Karam expressing divergent views on Clark's impact, ESPN's panels have become battlefields. While Karam appeared reluctant to completely embrace Clark's achievement, McNutt at one point leaned toward other rookies for top accolades, causing more debate.
The response of folks that don't think she is praised enough and she is above reproach in terms of criticism, or that praising another player is an affront to her, is like, whoa, bro. Also, you're not mentioned talking about women's basketball. I've never ever seen you before in my life.
One of the most vocal voices early in the season was Monica McNutt, who had first backed Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year. At the time, McNutt's logic was rather obvious. She believed that Angel Reese was the standout rookie because of her performance, particularly since the Chicago Sky were ahead of the Indiana Fever in the standings. McNutt wasn't afraid to express her opinion that Reese had all the necessary skills to earn Rookie of the Year and that Caitlin Clark, despite her potential, wasn't quite there yet.
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
All right, we gotta go.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you. Wow. Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Really appreciate
my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes the first.
At the time, McNutt thought it was a fair assessment. Angel Reese's ability to impact both ends of the floor for the Chicago Sky provided her an advantage over other first-year players, and she had been playing well in ways that rookies rarely do. The Indiana Fever, in contrast, was having difficulties. Even though Clark had performed well on her own, observers like McNutt didn't think her team status was helping her.
Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standings. Okay. Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the Sky's right above them.
And the Sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel.
Even after changing her mind about Caitlin during an ESPN broadcast, McNutt continued to make fun of her and treat her disrespectfully. She admitted that Clark had shown herself to be among the league's top players this season, not only among rookies. Even while the figures were great, it was more than that. Fans from all across the league were drawn to Clark because of the manner in which she was guiding the Indiana Fever, a team that had been having trouble getting off the ground. McNutt said that earlier in the year, she had been completely committed to Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark had made her reconsider.
She is cashed in, literally cashed in, but her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. She wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, who's standing up applauding but Angel Reese?
Even though McNutt may have realized how brilliant Clark was, not everyone at ESPN was as eager to acknowledge her accomplishments. One of the network's most well-known speakers, Molly Karam, appeared to seize every chance to minimize Clark's accomplishments. Karam frequently directed conversations away from Clark, whether on purpose or not. Fans quickly noticed that anytime Clark's name came up, Kareem was reluctant to give her the respect many felt she deserved, even when the young star's record-breaking performances were the talk of the town.
Caitlin is fantastic, and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA. There are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her arriving, and I just will not be silenced when it comes.
One of the most noteworthy events occurred when Caitlin Clark surpassed Alyssa Thomas's assist record, which ought to have solidified her status as one of the league's top players. Karam swiftly changed the topic of discussion from Clark's amazing feat to other players, attempting to highlight their contributions to the league. It almost seemed as though she was purposefully avoiding giving Clark too much attention, and viewers and other analysts noticed this. Some even conjectured that Kum's unwillingness to fully embrace Clark's fame was a component of a bigger plan to distribute the focus equally among the best players in the league. However, many believed it was forced and dishonest.
Game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all.
When Clark set a new record for points in a season, Kum's position became even more apparent. Another momentous accomplishment that ought to have garnered media attention. However, Kum contended that Clark's star power stemmed more from her popularity with fans than from her performance on the court, ignoring Clark's pioneering run. Karam claims that Clark's appeal stemmed from her capacity to increase WNBA viewership rather than her apparent brilliance. It seemed unjust to discount Clark's true basketball prowess when she implied that she was only considered a star because she was a fan favorite. This viewpoint was troublesome for many since it disregarded the fact that Clark's skill and diligence were what initially attracted those people. For some who believed the young player had more than deserved her moment in the spotlight, Kum's unwillingness to fully celebrate Clark's triumph left a bitter aftertaste.
There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got to
we don't have any of the women, Chanae. They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation.
Stephen A. Smith, who is not afraid to voice his opinions, also contributed to the conversation around Caitlin Clark. However, Smith had a different strategy than Molly. Smith, who is well known for his scathing opinions, had been observing the developing rivalry between Clark and Angel Ree throughout the season and was quick to note that Ree appeared to be fanning the flames more than Clark ever did. For him, this competition wasn't organic. Rather, Ree and other members of her group were creating it. Smith pointed out that Clark had stayed focused on her game and allowed her performance to speak for itself, despite the media and fans' eagerness to set the two young stars against one another. Despite the media focus, Clark was not participating in the rivalry rhetoric or attempting to add to the drama.
Going to be dogged by better defenders one-on-one, and of course on the defensive end, she's got to go and play defense. So I'm not sure what the scheme will be to protect her because nobody has talked about her as a defender. And there's reason.
However, Smith noted that Ree appeared to be buying into the story, particularly after her injuries kept her out of action for the whole season. Smith surmised that Ree was exaggerating the alleged competition with Clark in an attempt to stay relevant in the discussion despite his inability to contribute on the floor. Ree seemed to be attempting to create a competitive tension that was not as intense as it was being portrayed, rather than allowing Clark's particular accomplishments to shine. It was evident to Smith that Clark was letting her game speak for itself, while Ree was using the rivalry as a means of maintaining her prominence. But fate had other ideas as the season progressed. While Caitlin appeared to be improving each game, Ree's game started to show signs of cracking. Additionally, Angel Ree was sidelined for the rest of the season due to a wrist injury that ended her season. Fans believed she could be acting fake, but
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their intention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out.
Smith also responded to the persistent accusation put forth by pundits like Molly Cum that Caitlin Clark's popularity stemmed solely from her sizable fan base. He completely disagreed, claiming that anyone attempting to minimize Clark's abilities was missing the mark and that her aptitude was indisputable. He saw Clark as more than just a player with a large fan base. She was authentic. She became a star because of her game, her record-breaking performances, and her ability to influence the league every night. Smith stated unequivocally that Clark should be honored for her on-court accomplishments as well as her appeal off the court.
I think an injury, let's be real.
I literally play with my ankle like a golf ball, like a little golf ball when we played against Iowa. And like pain, you know I'm hurt when like I can't play. Like they don't have to tell me like you shut down, like you can't play. That's what they was telling me yesterday. Like you shut down, like you can't.
Gino Orama was another well-known person who doubted Caitlin Clark's potential to succeed in the WNBA. Orama questioned Clark's ability to handle the physicality and speed of the WNBA before she ever set foot on a court. He believes that Clark might not be able to handle the faster-paced, more aggressive style of the WNBA. He even hinted that the Indiana Fever might not be the ideal team for her to show off her abilities.
WNBA Player of the Week. Surprise, surprise. Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for League MVP honors. She ain't beating Angel Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
But as the season progressed, Orama's analysis soon started to seem antiquated. Caitlin Clark did more than just endure the WNBA's toughness. From the beginning, she flourished in it. In a league with some of the top athletes in the world, she demonstrated that she could not only compete, but even win. Clark demonstrated her abilities game after game by shattering long-standing records. Analysts, fans, and even her detractors were shocked when she broke records for assists and points in a single season. During her debut season, Clark's ability to dominate games, make crucial plays, and improve her teammates' performances became a defining characteristic. Orama was made to regret his earlier doubts about Clark's capacity to withstand the demands of the WNBA. Although the raw numbers were undoubtedly amazing, Clark's success was more than that. Her ability to improve others around her was what made her unique. The Indiana Fever, a team that had struggled in prior seasons, started to improve as the season progressed, largely due to her unquestionable leadership on the court. Even Orama had to acknowledge by the end of the season that Clark had significantly disproved him. In the WNBA, she wasn't merely getting by. She was succeeding on her own terms.
Fourth in betting odds on being MVP of the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name.
There is no doubting that Caitlin Clark had entered the MVP discussion when the WNBA season came to an end. One of Clark's biggest supporters during the season, Stephen A. Smith, was quick to acknowledge her as a worthy contender for the league's highest award. He believed that Clark was a serious competitor alongside well-known talents like A'ja Wilson because of her unique blend of individual skill and team leadership. Smith, who is renowned for his scathing observations and unyielding faith in his beliefs, didn't think twice about ranking Clark among the best players in the game.
Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I mean, we can all see that. However, experiencing it in person is totally different. I was at the Fever in Indiana game last night, and the amount of 22s that I saw on the way to the arena and inside the Capital One Arena might as well have just been a home game for Caitlin Clark. Not Indiana, Caitlin Clark. The thing is, that didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was how packed the game was.
Unquestionably deserving of MVP consideration was A'ja Wilson, who had been outstanding in her own right. She had been one of the WNBA's top players for years due to her reliability and ability to dominate games. However, Smith contended that it was impossible to ignore Clark's rookie impact on the league. For a first-year player, Clark's performance on the court was excellent. By any measure, it was spectacular. Few players, whether rookies or veterans, could equal the excitement and energy she had brought to the WNBA. She demonstrated that she belongs in the same conversation as seasoned performers like Wilson by stepping into the spotlight, handling extreme pressure, and delivering on a nightly basis.
Ways that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say. I have a scout. I have 11 other minds on my team and in my locker room that we got to make sure that we're on the same mindset. So I really can't give you the best answer on that because I really don't pay any attention to it. My goal is just to go out there and be the best that I can be for my teammates, both on and off the court, and we're going to go out there and be us.
Even while pundits like Molly Kump persisted in minimizing Caitlin Clark's accomplishments, the young celebrity's impact was evident. Fans from all around the world, not just in the U.S., had taken an interest in her. Because to her personality, never-say-die attitude, and ability to connect with people through her play style, Clark has become a global sensation. Basketball fans were enthralled with her long-range shooting, court vision, and ability to produce under pressure. And a wide range of people, from casual watchers to ardent WNBA fans, connected with her persona both on and off the court. It wasn't just her records that made Clark famous. Few athletes possess the intangible quality that she possessed. People were inspired by her. Clark had a way of captivating people, whether they were seasoned basketball fans in awe of her skill set or young girls hoping to follow in her footsteps. She was easy to support because of her tremendous competitiveness and modesty. Her statistics were outstanding, but they weren't the only thing. It was the manner in which she led her team and turned into a ray of hope for the Indiana Fever, a team that had experienced trouble in the past.
Clark is the first player in WNBA history to lead the league in assists and three-pointers made, and she has now scored the most points by a guard in a single season in WNBA history. As a rookie, also the first person in history to lead the league in assists and being top 10 in points. I don't think y'all understand how, difficult that is.
Caitlin Clark had demonstrated that she was more than just a fan favorite by leading the Indiana Fever with composure and shattering assist and point records. She was a real star, and it was hard to overlook her impact on the WNBA. Clark's influence on the league grew, even though some commentators were reluctant to fully recognize her accomplishments. She was more than a singular exception. She was contributing to the WNBA's increased visibility. Clark increased ticket sales, attracted new spectators, and made the Fever a team to watch once more. Conversations were being sparked by her thrilling performances. And such discussions were taking place outside of basketball circles. By the end of the season, it was evident that Caitlin Clark was more than just one of the league's top rookies. Without a doubt, she was among the top players. She exceeded expectations and lifted the standard for what a rookie could achieve throughout her record-breaking season. She had established herself as one of the WNBA's greatest stars in addition to earning her spot among the league's finest. Please subscribe and leave a like if you liked it. There are more of our videos on display.